Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Owen, and today we're going to be reviewing my brand new 2018 Honda Civic hatchback. As you can see, this is the 2018. I have it in black, and as also you can probably tell from the wheels, I do have the sport model, which gives you a little bit more power. The really nice center exhaust, as you can see here, and as you've seen before, these really nice wheels. My model also has these really cool pinstripes that go down across the entire thing. And one other thing you get with the Sport is you get these wider 235mm tires, which really improve the grip. So for the front end on these 10th gen Civics, it's a very aggressive look. Looks really nice. The fake grills, obviously, I don't hate it too much. It's not that bad. The front down here, you got this big open thing for your intercooler down here, and your big opening here again for the radiator. On the other side, it's the same thing. However, there is a hole in this one, and that is for the horn. The horn's actually down there, and that's for the sound to get through. Now, it is raining, as you can see, so we don't have the greatest lighting. But I did clean this car yesterday, but again, unfortunately, it is raining. But it does look very nice when it's clean, especially these wheels look killer when they're nice and clean. They're pretty clean. Still from yesterday, even though it is raining a little. I haven't driven it too much today. One thing that really stands out on this car is these ugly orange side markers. I don't know why they put those there. I know on the European ones they are clear, and and the little bulb in there is actually amber. It's a very aggressive styling. It really looks nice. A lot of people like the design of this. One thing about the hatchback versus the Type R is the hatchback actually uses the same body panels. On the Type R, there are 2 holes drilled right here on either side, and that'll bring up the big Type R wing. And you can actually drill those holes yourself and buy the wing off eBay, and you can have your own Type R wing. Again, with those center exhausts, really taking a lot of design cues from the Type R. On the back, again, you have some more of these fake vents on either side. One other thing about the exterior of this car is it does have this push to open fuel door and a capless fuel system, so you don't have to worry about unscrewing a stupid gas cap. You just take the nozzle and insert it right in there, and it just feels just like that. Alright, so coming around to the back of this car, again, it is a hatchback, so the entire back of it opens, and you do have quite a bit of trunk space. You could easily fit quite a few boxes back here. I don't have much back here, but I have fit a power washer back here. I fit a lawnmower back here. You do have plenty of room, and these front seats can fold down, and you get just a lot of room. If you go ahead and fold these seats down like that, again, you now have a lot of room. And I've put a couple bikes back here too, and they fit just fine. So you do have a lot of room in the back. So if you're worried about the not having a lot of room for groceries or whatever else you want to put back here, do not worry. There's plenty of room for anything. If I go and lift up this mat right here, you can see there's a compact spare tire and a toolkit. This is for filling the door. This is it, and then these 3 things are for the tires, or to change the tire if you need to. And there's a panel back here, and in there, I'm not sure if you can see it. I don't feel like pulling it off. There is a jack. So if you get a flat tire, you can jack the car up with all those tools and change the tire, and you'll be completely fine. And you can just do that right on the side of the road. If you got your kid back there and you don't want him open the doors when you're going 70 miles an hour down the highway, you can simply go ahead and lock this, and then the inside door won't do anything. You have to use the outside. Now I'm going to go and take you guys into the interior of this thing. I'm going to show you around. Alright, inside of the Honda Civic. It's very sporty, it's very driver oriented. Everything's kind of right within your reach. Down here, the automatic CVT transmission. You have your eco button. I call it Prius mode because it really, you really have to kind of floor it to get it to go anywhere. On the test drive later, I will turn it on and show you. You have your electric parking brake. It's a lot like some of the Audis, which is pretty nice that has this. You just pull it up and the brake's on. Put to take it off. You go and put your foot on the pedal and push it down. Down here, as you can see, you have a USB port and a regular cigarette lighter. Oh, one other thing on the Sport is you do get these really nice pedal caps that they look super good. You can really feel where everything is on the pedals. They're very nice. This is just the Sport. This is not the Sport Touring, so I don't get the big upgraded navigation head unit. But honestly, this is not a bad head unit. You have your radio and media buttons, your volume wheel, which they just added on the 2019s, but on the lower trim levels, you always had this. On the upper trim levels, you actually had a slider right here, and every time you wanted to change the volume, you had to slide it up and down. People did not like that. You have your flashers right here. It's a pretty big button right in the center. One thing I really like is this carbon fiber weave. That's kind of accents the whole interior. Looks very nice, very sporty. Down here you have a couple blanks, and then you also have your tire monitor and your traction control. One other thing I like about this is you just simply hold the button and it turns off. To turn it back on, you just hold it on again. It's a very easy way to turn off traction control. A lot of cars, it's not that simple. The center console here, it's a very modular system. You can have this thing go up and down, forward and back. I like to keep it back so I have a little bit more room. But if you put it back, there's a little tray for your coins here, and this cup holder which slides along these rails right here. And one other cool thing about this is you can actually take it out, and there's a couple more stuff. There's a cigarette lighter. I have an Easy Pass right there, and there's another very large cup holder, so if you have a big water bottle, you can easily just fit it in right there. These seats also are not bad. They are just cloth seats. They're not leather. Again, that's what you get on the Sport trim. But they do have this pretty cool carbon fiber weave up here and down here. They are manual controlled seats. There is a bar right here that you pull up. You can adjust the seats forward and back. They are all manual, even the open the door so you guys can see here. It is again a manual. There's this bar you have to pull up, and you can move the seat forward and back with it. On the door here, you get a few controls. You get your up and down windows in the back. The back two windows you have to hold all the way, but the front two windows you can actually, they're one touch. So you push it down, and it goes down. You pull it up, and it comes up. This right here, you have your window lock button, as long as you're on door lock and unlock. Right here you also have your power meter, so if you can slide it to the left and use this to control it, and you can slide it to the right and this will control the right mirror. Now I'm going to go and take you guys into the back seat. Alright, so now we're in the back seat. As you can see, you have the same cloth seats. These don't have any of the carbon fiber inserts, but they are still very comfortable nonetheless. On the back again, you can see this carbon fiber goes all the way down. You have your non-adjustable headrest, your 3-layer seatbelt, and your seat bench. So you can actually sit 1, 2, 3 people back here. There on the higher trim models, there is a cup holder you can pull down. I don't have that, and you can also see right into the back. There's not a bad bit of room back here. It's actually quite spacious. I'm about 6 foot tall, and I fit fine. Alright, so if I go ahead and take you guys on a tour of this infotainment system, again, you have this button right up here. You can adjust the brightness at night. This car will automatically sense. You can also adjust your day brightness of this screen. Now, this screen will automatically appear and disappear. You can adjust the stations with this knob, but if nothing's happening, it will just give you a blank screen. This screen, again, you can go and adjust the brightness of it. This is just the screen that stays on. You have your presets down here. To add a preset, let's say I want to preset this station. What I simply have to do is just go to the station I want, hold the number, and you can hear the little beep, and it will preset that station there. Down here is your climate control. This is not dual zone, but it is an automatic climate control. You can go and hit that, and it will automate the whole thing. You also have your seek track right here. It'll go and find the next best station every time you hit it. This button over here, you can adjust stuff like your bass, treble, fade, balance, where it is. This also has the speed volume control. So if you're cruising down the highway at 70 and there's a lot of road noise, it will actually automatically bring those speakers up to a higher volume. One other thing you can do is if you go and hit this menu button, there's a lot of different settings you can do. You can adjust the clock. That's actually an hour ahead. I need to put that back. You can scan for different stations, and you can go in the settings down here. You can go to your Bluetooth display adjustment. You can also turn up the brightness and the contrast and the black level for the different colors. Now there are 4 preset colors. If I go to color theme, there are blue, red, amber, and gray. I personally like red the best, so that's what I'm going to keep it on. You can also change the language. Go to the clock format, 12-hour or 24-hour if you would prefer that. The wallpaper, you can actually set custom wallpapers on this, but you can only do that if you have the display change setting set to wallpaper, and you go up here and you set it to this black screen that displays just the time. Over here you have your paddle shifters. So if you go and put this into sport mode, you can actually control it with the paddle shifters here. I'm going to go and pop the hood. If you open the door, it is just right down here. You pull that, and the hood will open just like this. It is a two-handed affair. And then there's actually a tab, it's actually in front, so you have to go in and then you have to bend your fingers down. Then you move over, and then you can simply lift the hood up. As you can see, I just have it in the regular position. Right here, there is another position that opens the hood even more. As you can see, it's opened up quite a bit. If you want to put it in the other position, that's called the service position, and it's really opened up high so you can get in there and do whatever you need to do. Now, it is not a very tidy engine bay, I will admit that, but there isn't a cover, so you can see everything. There's no plastic covers or anything. I do like that. That is a plus. Over right here, you have your coolant reservoir. That comes down right into the radiator, and also goes into your cylinder block. Right back here you have your brake master cylinder. That connects to a lot of hoses that go right back here to your ABS module. It is the 1.5 liter turbo, so you have your turbocharger right up here. Up here you have your intake right here. It is this box. So the air actually comes in the front here, goes through this and into this hole, and then that goes down, under, up through the filter, through this tube, and right down into the turbo. This bit right here is your electronically controlled wastegate, and that will control your boost and your pressure. Right here is your ECU, your main computer for the whole thing, and right back here is your fuse box. So this has all your necessary fuses and everything else you need for the engine. Right back here is your battery. It's a pretty small battery, but it is enclosed. You have a heat shield right here and a little bit of foam and insulation everywhere else. Right over here is your windshield washer fluid. So if you're low on that, you just go and add it in there, and that connects to a reservoir that goes down there. One thing that is a bit annoying about this engine is the belt is very hard to get to. So when your belt gets old or your alternator blows out, it's not going to be fun to replace. One other thing down here you have in your engine bay is the blow-off valve. That's this thing right here with the little purple marks. That is your electronic blow-off valve. It blows right back into the intake, as you can see. You can see the turbo sitting right up here. It's not a very big turbo. Stock, it runs at 16.5 pounds of boost, and that's how you get your 180 horsepower. There's one radiator fan down here that pulls in air from the front onto the engine. There was only one fan. A lot of cars have two, but I don't think this motor gets very hot, so it has two. One other thing you can see down here is your primary catalytic converter. It's very large and comes right directly off the turbo, under the car, and out the back. So that's the overview of the engine bay. Again, pretty cluttered, but hey, if it works, right? So the sport trim, and this is just the sport and the sport touring trim, actually have this nicer center exhaust, which not only looks better, but it also sounds better and gives the car an extra 6 horsepower compared to the base 174 horsepower. This one has 180. So I'm going to go and turn the car on, give you guys a few revs, and let you guys listen to what this thing sounds like. It is stock, so it's nothing amazing, but it doesn't sound bad for a stock car. So now I'm actually going to go ahead and take this thing on a drive, and I'm going to show you guys how the car drives. So it's not a bad car. I mean, it's got a CVT, but it's not a bad CVT. It does have paddle shifters, and they only work if you put it in sport mode. I will go ahead and do that later. And one thing it does do that's, I don't know about all CVTs, but this one at least, if I slow down a little bit and go, it will hold it at this case about 2,400 RPM, and then just use the transmission to accelerate, which is kind of weird. The sport pedals are nice. They feel pretty good under your foot. It feels like you do get a lot of grip. It's really not going to slip off of that. Pretty sure this car pumps sound in through the windshield or the speakers. I'm not quite sure. I think it's the windshield though. And so it does make it sound pretty nice. The brakes that I have to use right now are nice. I mean, they do stop. There are no Brembos or anything like on the Type R, but the brakes, they do stop. You can get on them and they will bring you to a stop fairly quickly. I haven't done steel lines, I haven't done pads, I haven't done discs. These are just all, this car is completely stock. So if I go and do this, as you can see, I mean, it will accelerate. I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can definitely hear it. And it sounds quite nice. There's plenty of visibility in this. I mean, I can see, really everywhere. I'm gonna go and put it in sport now. And normally it idles at about 1,000, and now it's idling at about 3,200. So I can go and put it paddle shifters. Again, you can also use the engine to brake. So I go in downshifting. If you do want to keep it in sport and turn the paddle shifters off, you go and hold the up for a few seconds and that turns it right off. Yeah, I'm gonna go around and turn, and it's really, I'm going about 40 on this off ramp here. Okay. If you do want to get out of sport mode, you just you can be driving in this. You just put it in drive with the manual selector, and it comes down. It does idle quite a bit, quite high in sport too. It idles at roughly 3,000. And in drive, it idles at about 1,500. You really can't hear it. Sport, you can hear it a little though. It does drone a bit if you're on the highway, but you can just put it in drive and that totally fixes that problem. Or you can just use the paddle shifter. This car gets pretty good fuel economy. There's a little gauge down here that'll tell you from 0 to 80. Right now I'm at 80. If I give it a little bit, I'm in about 70, and then that's 40. And if I kind of wait and then really floor it, down to about 10, but yeah, normally I average about 27, I think. So this car has 1,290 miles on it. So far, throughout those 290 miles, I've averaged 27.3 miles per gallon. There's also a little stalk down here, which will toggle through a lot of different things. Your average fuel economy for trip 1. It's got a little service reminder, so it'll tell you the oil life. Right now mine's at about 80%. Your total trip and your range of your gas tank. Right now I'm sitting about 314 miles. That's on a full tank though. Okay, one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and do an acceleration, not like 0 to 60 or anything. Go ahead and put it in sport mode, first gear, and that wasn't really me flooring it. Eco mode, I'm gonna go and turn that on. It's very, like, you gotta kind of floor it. I call it Prius mode, so you really gotta, and it's got these cool kind of green and white gauges right here. They kind of turn different colors depending on what kind of driving you're doing. So if you're kind of really giving it gas, it'll go white. If you're kind of like in the middle, not super mass, but you're a little, it'll go like a light green. And then if you're really just kind of being really conservative with it, or if you're in eco mode, it will light up green. All right, guys, I think this is going to conclude my review on my 2018 Honda Civic hatchback. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.